You're driving home, maybe a little tipsy from a night out, and suddenly flashing lights in your rearview mirror. The officer walks up and asks, "Would you step out and perform some tests for me?" What do? Can you say no? And what happens if you do? Hey there, I'm Joseph Ruiz, DWI defense attorney here in Houston, Texas. I help people just like you navigate some of the most stressful moments of their lives. And today we're talking about a question I get all the time. Can you refuse a field sobriety test during a traffic stop? Let's break it down. First things first, in Texas, you absolutely do have the right to refuse a field sobriety test. That means you can legally say no to things like the walk and turn, the one-leg stand, or that eye-following pen test. These are called standardized field sobriety tests, and while officers use them to help decide whether they believe someone is impaired, you're not legally required to perform them. They're subjective, and a lot of things like nerves, balance issues, health issues, or even bad shoes can affect your performance. So yes, you can and should refuse to do field sobriety testing. Now here's where it gets tricky. Just because you refuse the test doesn't mean you're off the hook. If the officer still has enough reason to believe you're impaired based on things like your driving, your behavior, the smell of an alcoholic beverage, slurred speech, they can still arrest you. The key here is that when you're released, the state will have a much weaker case against you. And if you refuse a chemical test like a breathalyzer or blood draw, that's a different story. Texas has an implied consent law. That means if you're lawfully arrested for DWI, you've already agreed to take a breath or blood test. Refusing that test will potentially trigger a license suspension, and that can last anywhere from 180 days to up to 2 years depending on your record. However, we can request an ALR hearing to fight that, and we win most of those. The biggest takeaway here, knowing your rights can change everything. A traffic stop is nerve-wracking, but understanding what you're legally required to do and what you can say no to can protect you from making mistakes that hurt your case later. Refusing a field sobriety test might be the smart move depending on the situation, but you've got to be calm, clear, and respectful. The officer can still arrest you, and yes, your refusal can be brought up in court, but the less objective evidence they have, the more options you and your attorney have to fight back. So can you refuse field sobriety tests in Texas? Yes, you can, and you should. Those tests are so meticulously graded, it's almost impossible to quote-unquote pass one, even if you're not intoxicated. If you or someone you care about is facing a DWI charge, don't guess, get answers. Reach out to me today for a free consultation, and let's make sure your rights are protected from day one. Hit the like button, follow for more legal tips, and share this video because you never know when you or a friend might need this information. Stay safe out there.